It's a quiet scene, almost uncomfortably quiet. The air in the upper room is thick with unspoken words, with a tension you could feel in your bones. This isn't just any dinner. It's the Passover meal. A meal steeped in history, in liberation, in the memory of God saving his people. And these men gathered around their teacher, Jesus, they feel something is different tonight. The end of something is near. The beginning of something else is just on the horizon, but it's hidden in shadows. Jesus knows. He knows this is the last meal. He knows that in a few hours, the garden, the betrayal, the mock trial, the cross, it will all begin. He looks at these men, his friends, flawed, ambitious, scared, loyal, and clueless, all at once. They're still arguing about who will be the greatest in his kingdom. They still think the kingdom is about thrones and power and earthly glory. They just don't get it yet. And he's running out of time to show them. He's running out of time to give them a final, unforgettable lesson, one that will anchor them through the storm that's about to break. So he does something completely bizarre, something so shocking, so contrary to every social and religious norm, that it silences the room. The Gospel of John tells us he gets up from the meal. He takes off his outer clothing, his robe. He wraps a common servant's towel around his waist. He pours water into a basin, and then he kneels. The Lord of the universe, the man they call Messiah, kneels down and begins to wash his disciples' feet. To understand the depth of this moment, you have to understand the culture. Their feet, in that time and place, were disgusting. People wore open sandals on dusty, dirty roads. The roads were shared with animals. They were filthy. Washing a guest's feet was a basic courtesy, but it was a job reserved for the lowest of the low. It was the task of a Gentile slave, a non-Jewish servant. No self-respecting Jewish person would ever wash someone else's feet. It was an act of extreme debasement. A master would never ever do this for his disciples. A teacher would never do this for his students. It was an unthinkable reversal of roles. Imagine the silence in that room. The sound of water sloshing in the basin. The sound of Jesus' hands scrubbing the dirt from the first disciples' feet. The confusion, the embarrassment. The disciples probably looked at each other, their eyes wide, wondering what on earth was happening. This was not the behavior of a king, this was the behavior of a slave, and he kept going one by one, moving around the circle, washing the grime from between their toes, drying their feet with the towel tied around his own waist. Then he gets to Peter, and Peter, who is never one to keep his thoughts to himself, finally breaks the silence. He can't take it. This is wrong. It's upside down. Lord, are you going to wash my feet? You can hear the disbelief in his voice. It's a question that means, this can't be happening. You, the Messiah, washing my dirty feet? No. Jesus' answer is calm and mysterious. You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. He's telling Peter and all of them that there's a deeper layer to this. There's a meaning here that they can't grasp in the heat of the moment, with their minds still full of crowns and kingdoms. The full understanding will only come after the cross and the resurrection. But Peter is not a man for laughter. He's a man of action, of conviction, of right now. And right now, this is deeply offensive to his sense of honor and his love for Jesus. No, he says, with his typical bold certainty, you shall never wash my feet. It's a statement of loyalty in its own way. He's trying to protect Jesus' honor. He's saying, I should be washing your feet, not the other way around. He's trying to keep the proper order of things. His master above servant, Lord above disciple. And this is where Jesus pivots the entire conversation from a lesson in humility to a profound statement about salvation itself. His response is sharp and absolute. Unless I wash you, you have no part with me. Suddenly, this isn't about dirty feet anymore. The water in the basin is no longer just water. This act is about something far more fundamental. Jesus is saying that to be in a relationship with him, to be part of his life, his mission, his very being, you must allow him to serve you. You must allow him to cleanse you. You can't earn your way in. You can't establish your own righteousness. You can't come to him on your own terms. You must come with your dirty feet and let him do the washing. It's a statement about grace. Peter, in his prideful attempt to serve Jesus, was refusing the very thing he needed most to be served and cleansed by Jesus. He was trying to maintain control, to maintain his own dignity, when the whole point of Jesus' mission was to surrender all of that. Peter, being Peter, immediately swings to the other extreme. His mind is blown. If being washed by Jesus is that important, then he wants all of it. Then Lord, he says, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. He goes from total refusal to total immersion. It's a passionate, loyal response, but he still doesn't quite get it. And Jesus' gentle correction reveals another layer of meaning. Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. This is a beautiful and powerful analogy for the Christian life. The bath is the initial act of salvation. It's that moment of coming to faith, of being washed clean by his grace, forgiven of all sin, justified before God. That's a one-time event. You are made clean, whole, and new. You don't need to be saved over and over again. But then there's the reality of living. We walk through a dirty world. We pick up dust and grime along the way. We sin, we stumble, we make mistakes, our feet get dirty. The foot washing then represents the ongoing need for cleansing and forgiveness in the life of a believer. It's about confession. It's about repentance. It's about coming back to Jesus day after day and saying, I walked through the mud today. I need you to wash my feet again. It's not about being resaved, but about restoring the intimacy of our relationship with him. We have already had the bath of salvation. We just need the daily foot washing of grace and forgiveness to keep our walk with him clean. After he finishes with Peter and the others, Jesus puts his robe back on and returns to his place. He looks at them, the towel and basin likely still nearby, a tangible reminder of what just happened. Do you understand what I have done for you, he asks. He knows they probably don't, not fully. So he explains the first and most direct meaning of his action. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. This is the core of it all. It's a lesson in humility, but it's more than that. It's a complete redefinition of leadership and greatness. The disciples were just arguing about who would be the greatest. In their world, greatness was about power, authority, and being served by others. Jesus takes that whole concept and turns it completely upside down. He shows them that in his kingdom, true greatness is not found in how many people serve you, but in how many people you serve. Greatness is picking up the towel. Greatness is kneeling. Greatness is doing the dirty, thankless jobs that no one else wants to do. He's not just teaching them a principle, he's modeling it in the most dramatic way possible. He is their Lord. He is their teacher. If the one who holds all authority in heaven and on earth is willing to kneel and wash their filthy feet, what right do they have to consider themselves above any act of service? He's dismantling their pride, their ego, their whole way of seeing the world. He's showing them that the way up is down, the way to lead is to serve, the way to be first is to be last. This act of foot washing becomes the physical embodiment of his new commandment, which he gives them just a little later that same night. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. How did he love them? He loved them with a towel and a basin. He loved them by kneeling before them. This isn't a sentimental greeting card kind of love. It's a gritty, humble, self-sacrificing love. It's a love that gets its hands dirty. It's a love that serves even when it's inconvenient and demeaning. This is the mark of a true follower of Jesus. Not a fish emblem on a car, not a cross necklace, but a willingness to wash the feet of their brothers and sisters. But there is an even deeper, more profound meaning to this act, one that points directly to the cross. Think about the sequence of events. Jesus takes off his outer garment. He lays aside his robe, the symbol of his status and identity. In the same way, the Apostle Paul would later write in Philippians that Jesus, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. When Jesus laid aside his robe, he was giving them a physical picture of a cosmic reality. He laid aside his divine glory to become a human, a servant. He then wraps a towel around his waist. He girds himself for service. This is the posture of a slave ready to work. And then he stoops, he kneels, he pours out the water. This entire sequence is a miniature drama of the gospel. He lays aside his glory, he takes on the form of a servant, he humbles himself, and he cleanses. The water he uses is a symbol of the cleansing that his blood, poured out just hours later, would accomplish on a cosmic scale. The foot washing is a preview, a foreshadowing of the cross. At the cross, he would be stripped of his garments again. At the cross, he would be humbled to the point of death. At the cross, he would perform the ultimate act of service, pouring out his own life to wash away the sin of the entire world. The cleansing of dirty feet in the upper room was a physical sign pointing to the spiritual cleansing of sinful souls at Calvary. He was showing them, in a way they could see and feel, what he was about to do for all of humanity. He was going to wash the world, not with water, but with his own blood. He was going to serve not just his friends, but his enemies too, by taking their punishment upon himself. The foot washing and the crucifixion are two parts of the same song. They are both about a king who serves, a God who stoops. And this brings us to the most gut-wrenching part of the story. Judas Iscariot was in that room. Jesus knew what Judas was about to do. John's gospel makes it clear the devil had already prompted Judas to betray Jesus. Jesus knew the betrayal was already in motion, and yet, when Jesus made his way around the circle with the basin and the towel, he did not skip Judas. He knelt before the man who had already decided to sell him for a handful of silver coins. He took Judas's feet into his own hands, the same hands that healed the sick and blessed the children. He washed the feet of his own betrayer. Think about that for a second. The love and service of Jesus are not conditional. They are not reserved for those who are loyal or worthy. Jesus knelt and washed the feet of the man who would send him to his death. He offered this intimate act of service, this symbol of cleansing, to his own enemy. This is the radical, scandalous nature of God's grace. It is offered to everyone. It is offered to the betrayer, to the denier, to the doubter. Jesus loved Judas to the very end. He gave him one last chance to repent, one last profound gesture of love and humility. He washed the feet that would soon walk to the authorities to hand him over. This single detail elevates the entire event to another level. The command to love one another as I have loved you suddenly becomes much more difficult, much more demanding. It means loving not just the people who are easy to love, but also the people who have hurt us, the people who have betrayed us. It means being willing to wash the feet of our enemies. It's a standard of love that is utterly impossible in our own strength. It's a divine love, a love that serves without expecting anything in return, a love that gives even when it is met with hatred. So what does this ancient story mean for us today, living in a world so different from that one? It means everything. The act of Jesus washing the disciples' feet is not just a historical event. It is a perpetual lesson, a foundational image for the Christian faith. First, it is a constant call to humility. Our world still values power, status, and being served. We are taught to climb the ladder, to be the boss, to make a name for ourselves. Jesus shows us a different way. He shows us that true spiritual authority comes not from a title or a position, but from a servant's heart. It challenges us in our churches, in our families, in our workplaces. Who are the people we consider beneath us? Are we willing to serve them? Are we willing to do the unseen, unglamorous jobs? Are we willing to pick up a towel? The message is that no act of service is beneath a follower of the one who washed feet. Second, it is a picture of our relationship with God. We are all Peter. We come to God with our pride, thinking we need to do something for him to prove our worth. And Jesus looks at us and says, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. We have to let him serve us first. We have to accept his grace. We have to let him wash us clean through his sacrifice on the cross. We can't earn our salvation. We can only receive it humbly, like a child. And then, once we've had that life-changing bath of salvation, we must continually come back to him for the foot washing. We need to confess our daily sins and failures and allow his grace to cleanse us and restore us again and again. It's a rhythm of grace for the entire Christian journey. Third, it is our mission. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. This is not a suggestion. It is the blueprint for the Christian community. A church should be a place where people are constantly washing one another's feet. This means bearing one another's burdens. It means forgiving each other when we mess up. It means preferring others over ourselves. It means serving the practical, messy, and often difficult needs of the people around us. It's about building a community based not on power structures, but on mutual, humble service. It is this kind of love, this gritty towel and basin love that Jesus said would be the defining mark of his followers to a watching world. Finally, it is a constant reminder of the heart of God. Our God is not a distant, untouchable deity who demands to be served. Our God is a God who kneels. He is a God who takes on the form of a slave. He is a God who washes dirty feet. He is a God who serves his own creation, even to the point of death. The image of Jesus with a towel wrapped around his waist is one of the most powerful and complete pictures of who God is in the entire Bible. It is a picture of immense power displayed through immense humility. It is a picture of unconditional love. The story of Jesus washing the disciples' feet is simple enough for a child to understand, yet so profound that you could spend a lifetime plumbing its depths. It's about more than just humility. It's about salvation, sanctification, community, leadership, and the very nature of God himself. It's a scene of quiet, shocking, world-altering love. It asks us a simple, direct question every single day. We see the basin, we see the towel. Will we let him wash our feet? And will we then pick up that towel and go and do the same for others?